Добрый день, дорогие друзья. Вы меня узнали, меня зовут Никита Некрасов, я бессменный ведущий нашего замечательного проекта «Кислородный коктейль», который называется подкаст, как вы его все знаете. И мы сегодня в необычных условиях, честно говоря, мы не в студии, не в том месте, где мы обычно записываем интервью, а мы находимся на улице Абовяна, где сегодня проходит замечательное мероприятие. А вот что за мероприятие здесь проходит, расскажет наш сегодняшний собеседник Роберт Гирейко. Это тимлидер проекта Hazardous Waste Management Yerevan-Warsaw-Tirana. Все правильно сказал?
Правильно.
Прекрасно. Я буду задавать вопросы по-русски, Роберт будет отвечать на английском, поэтому все, кто не знают английского, выключайте. Роберт, расскажите, пожалуйста, что здесь сегодня проходит?
Today we are basically concluding our project, 4-year project of 3 municipalities, so Yerevan, and Tirana, financed by the European Union and concentrated on waste prevention, waste management for the municipalities, and also touching on some issues of hazardous waste management. And today are the finals also from the school competitions in Yerevan. So the kids and the teachers, they receive prizes, awards for their little project, little ideas how to prevent waste and how to educate about proper waste management.
Это замечательная инициатива, потому что я вам раскрою небольшую тайну. В каждом интервью, которое мы берем у людей, так или иначе связанных с экологией Еревана и Армении, все в итоге сводится не к вопросам их деятельности, а все сводится к образованию. Поэтому, конечно, детей задействовать в этом очень-очень важно. Расскажите, пожалуйста, вообще, в принципе, сколько проект идет? Сегодня он закончился, значит, уже сколько он шел и какие ставились цели изначально?
The project lasted over 4 years and we are now finishing in June. The objectives were very complicated, but in reality it was under the umbrella of EU projects for local governments in different countries, so in the EU and outside, and it was concentrating on improving governance, so management of the cities, management of the towns. We chose this particular sector in Armenia, in Yerevan and Warsaw and Tirana, because we think that this is very much the subject for current action, immediate action, in the context of climate change, in the context of climate crisis, and also, you know, this massive pollution that we are actually creating.
Скажите, пожалуйста, вот сейчас проект завершился, вы рассказали о целях, которые ставились, насколько они все на сегодняшний день достигнуты?
Официально я скажу, что все, но I'm speaking Russian now, this is horrible. I will say that they are achieved, but with difficulties we had to also amend some of the topics. We had to adjust to the local situation. So just as an example, in Warsaw it was pretty easy because they have all the systems, and what they need for waste management is to improve the systems. So they decided to open up, expand. They have local points for collection of small electronic waste. If you go to the metro station, there is a box with nice colors and you can just drop your battery, charger, whatever. And they said it's working, so let's put more points. Mm-hmm. So they moved from 25 points in the city to over 90 points with our project. So that's hazardous waste. Not the worst, but it is still hazardous and it's managed. In Yerevan we started talking, negotiating on hazardous waste subjects, and it didn't go anywhere. So we looked around and we said, okay, there is a small operation of segregation, waste segregation and recycling by the municipality, by the greening company. So let's help them out and expand this. And this is what was agreed between us, the municipality, and the EU, the funder. And we basically moved from 100 points for segregation of plastic, paper, glass, and aluminium to 300 points in the city. I know it does not solve the issue because at the end of the road we should have something like 10,000 points. So everywhere you collect garbage, you should provide the citizens, the inhabitants, with the option to segregate. That's probably happening in a couple of years, not now. But we helped it. So instead of segregating, 30 tons per year, the municipality should be able to do 3, 4, 5 times more, which is good. In Tirana, they are preparing for the accession to the European Union. So on the books, on the regulations, everything looks fine. all the EU directives are written, translated, approved, but nothing works or not much works. So they said, okay, let's introduce something new, and they went for mobile cars. So this is basically trucks or trailers which are on a schedule in the city, and they collect both segregated waste and hazardous waste. And this is for them a very fresh idea, new pilot. So we hope it's gonna stay, not die, and expand over time. So I would say what we did was, the challenges are very much the same, but the solutions have to be local. You have to work with the people on the, in the city, in the given location. You have to talk to the institutions. You have to understand the local pressures, dynamics, who works with whom, who doesn't, etc. And then you come to sort of a negotiated, agreeable interventions. So I was speaking about the investments, the infrastructure, equipment, but this is not all of it. Big part in terms of improving waste management is to educate and to make people aware that they are the polluters. We are the polluters, and every day we generate waste. So in Yerevan, around 400 kilos per person per year. That's a lot. And it could be much, much less going to the landfill, which is not sanitary, so pretty bad. It could go, half of it or more, it could go for recycling. So I would say, when we cannot do, we should consider other options. And as a package, this project has made significant contributions to the waste management systems in the 3 cities. We are very happy about it, but of course, this is not something I would say resolves the issues. No, we are just making a small contribution to the solutions.
Я больше не буду вас мучить. Последние два коротких вопроса. Раз мы, в принципе, находимся в Ереване, и подкаст, собственно, этот затеян именно в Ереване, поэтому два последних вопроса будут именно про Армению. Да. Пока нас никто не слышит и никто не видит, я хочу вас вот так наедине, тет-а-тет спросить, какая самая сложная деталь была в работе именно в Армении?
The worst issue is always bureaucracy and the slow motion of public bodies. You know what I mean? You ask, you have to ask 3 times. You have to ask unofficially, officially. Then you have to repeat, rework, negotiate again.
And then drink coffee with the
well, coffee is the nice part. The rest is not so nice. But with all the difficulties, this is a reflection of of the culture. Some cultures are more restrictive, more controlled. Armenians are more on the freedom side. The sun is shining, it's hot, it's difficult, everybody gets tired early before the noon, and life is not so easy. So this is, maybe this is not a fair reflection, but I come from a culture which is somewhere in between. We are much more controlled, much more demanding. So in Poland, when I say I need something and I get people to work, they will follow with difficulties, etc. In Armenia, when they tell me, the van is coming in half an hour, I know already it is coming in about an hour, if I'm lucky. So all these little issues, they impact the the speed of things. And then also, like in Yerevan, what is really, really needed is a rework of the legal framework. Because at this moment, what we found as a, let's say, initial difficulty was that there was no common language. So the EU definitions of waste, or the international definitions of waste, the standard ones, or the most modern, are not fully here. You're talking about one waste that's classified differently here, classified differently there. So that's probably the big chunk of work that needs to be done. We couldn't do it as a local project. It has to go to the level of, the ministries, the government, the top of the government. And it's a tough work because this sector requires a lot of regulation, which is, under work here. But again, it's slow, it's long.
Но я вам могу сказать, что все проблемы, которые вы перечислили, не проблемы, а, скажем так, трудности, которые вы перечислили,
реальности.
мы с ними тоже сталкиваемся. Естественно, мы остаемся, кислородный коктейль остается в Армении, поэтому мы все ваши замечания обязательно передадим. И напоследок хотелось бы вас спросить, вернее, даже не спросить, а так вот, что вы можете коротко пожелать Армении, армянам и Еревану, вот этой замечательной стране нации?
Во-первых, спокоя и покоя. Again, I'm turning to Russian. Okay. Спокоя и покоя, во-первых. Во-вторых, что Ереван, Армения, они просто становились все время лучше жить. Это обозначает просто, что будет и чистее, и зеленее. А это обозначает, что мы берем на себя тоже, каждый индивидуально, ответственность за то, что мы делаем, особенно с отходами. Я тоже, как это сказать, индивидуально прошел какой-то путь.
Все.
Да, и мы все должны учиться, изучать и изменять наши привычки. Потому что, можно сказать, планета, наша Земля, она будет действовать с нами или без нас.
Конечно.
Но лучше с нами, да, и с нашими детьми детей и так далее.
Да.
So this is my wishes for Yerevan, for Armenia, and for everybody who stays here.
Роберт, спасибо вам огромное. Ну, во-первых, спасибо за такую замечательную программу и такую большую работу, которая здесь с вами была проведена. Вот, я надеюсь, что мы не последний раз встречаемся, видимся.
Конечно.
И будут новые программы, в которых мы тоже, как кислородный коктейль, примем участие и поможем информационно, допустим, станем большими СМИ, вот, и будем освещать исключительно те события, которые вы организовываете.
I think it's gonna be more and more work in this topic, so everybody will be busy.
Отлично, спасибо, Роберт.
Спасибо большое.